Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Do you see what I see? What is that? It's water right at the base of the kitchen faucet. See that? Now sometimes you might think it's leaking at the base. Maybe you get your hand wet and you go up here to turn that off, and then after a while you get too much water there and you think, oh, I just have to be careful. Check that out first before you do a little test and see, and more than likely it's either that or the cartridge inside this faucet is leaking ever so slightly, and over time it drips out right there. There's a nice little water ring around your counter, or it gets out further and you're like, okay, well, you know, I don't know how to fix that. Maybe I have to call a plumber. And I don't want the money, I don't want to spend the money for that or replace this faucet. This is a nice, expensive faucet. It's black, first off. You can't really find those at a regular local hardware store. This is like over $400. Might even be closer to $500, I forget. And it's American Standard, and I'm not going to take that out to replace that with another like for like, or a cheaper one that costs maybe $200 if I can fix this cartridge. And that's what this video is all about. Now the reason why I figured out this is an American Standard, usually they got an emblem or a symbol or something on here that says what kind of faucet this is. And I see this little deal right here for cold and hot. And usually when I see a symbol like that, the way it's angled, I might know that way that it's American Standard, or I can look at the top. I look on the top here and voila, it says American Standard right there. That's an important part of my project because I've got to get some parts for this. I can't go down to any local hardware store and tell them I need a part for a faucet and they're going to ask me, first question, what kind is it? What brand is it? I'm telling you this because you're going to have to go through the same steps for your faucet. Is it going to be exactly the same like for like cartridge and the exact everything inside? No, it's not. But the technique, the tips, the steps are going to be about the same. Now the first thing I have to do to figure out how to pull this apart, I've got to get this top handle off. And normally when you see this little symbol right in here, you can pop that out with a tiny little screwdriver, and then there should be an Allen screw in there that you unscrew to then pop this off, okay? But before I get going, before I forget about it, I need to turn the water off to the faucet. So that's one of the first steps you're going to do. Don't be messing around with your faucet trying to unscrew this and then find, uh-oh, have water squirting all over the place because you forgot to turn the water valves off underneath the sink. Important step number one. Hopefully you don't have really super old gate valves. If you got 30-year-old gate valves, you got to be careful when you're doing that. You might have a tendency to snap one of those handles off. Just be careful when you're doing it. Okay. Got the water off. It still might drip just barely. But, you know, that's your first step. Let's get on with the project. I'm going to take a tiny little screwdriver. I just kind of push it in there and pop this out. Okay, that's your first step after turning the water off. That's your second step, right? Now, at each step, make sure you remember how to do everything. And the reason why this has a blue and red line, you want to put that back in the right place. Blue is cold water, red is the hot water. You put that back on there, you want your blue to your right, obviously, and the red to the left, right? Okay. Step by step, you can do it. This is the exact reason why I carry an Allen wrench set around, because you never know when you're going to need one, especially which size and all that. Okay. And usually you got to lift this up. If you lift it up, it's a little bit easier to get at than, instead of way down low. And you're going to have to fish in there for the screw. And you might not get the right Allen wrench the first time. This might be so small that it's fitting inside there, and you're twisting it, and you're like, okay, what's happening? Or you put one too big in there and you're over the top of it and you're twisting, you can't find it. Or maybe you're using the right size and the screw somehow is not even there. I've had that happen before. Okay, so I got it in there. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? You remember that little tip? Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And that's how we're going to do this. I've got it wedged in there. I'm going to unscrew that. And that's this little screw that holds this on here. So I want to get that off. And I got a little plunger for the garbage disposal. I'm going to put that in just in case I happen to drop anything. I don't want it going down the drain. I have to fish for it. Now, you don't have to undo this screw all the way, you know. But if you do and it comes out, that's all right. Okay, get it pretty far and then try to pull this off. If you can't pull it off, then maybe you have to unscrew it a little bit more. Okay? Alright. I got that. I see how that works. Okay? Once that comes off, this top piece you just twist, pull that off. Now remember how you're taking this apart, alright? Because you don't want to think, oh, I know how to do that, I can get that, no problem. You just want to make sure that it all comes back together in the right place and all that. Okay, and just for kicks, I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to turn this handle straight. Does it matter? Not really, but I want this thing straight so I remember on my new one. The new one I'm going to put, I've got it all lined up the same way. There's 3 screws here. 2 here, 1 here. So when I pull this off, that's my next thing. I'm going to do these screws. And I want to be careful when I pull this off because I'm not sure exactly what all is down under there. And incidentally, if you don't know what type of cartridge this is, you can do all of these steps as a mock test so that you understand how it works, and maybe then you can take this down to the store, or you can kind of see the picture of everything and make a decision on how to order the parts. You don't want to just make the assumption that there's only one American Standard kitchen faucet. There's hundreds of them. And you might have one that they don't even carry anymore, especially a hardware store. You're probably going to have to go to a wholesale house or something like that. Okay. I'm going to gently pull this up. Remember how we got this. I'm going to set this up on the counter just like that. Okay. I ordered my part, and it looks pretty close, you know, but it doesn't have this black thing at the bottom. I think that is going to be left down there. Okay, and I'm just going to gently put this back down just for right now. Let's see how this all goes together, you know? Because I think this is supposed to come apart right there. Okay? Might have to undo these screws a little bit. No, that should pull off. Okay? I'm going to gently put that up there. See that that lines up with that. And I'm going to take a closer look at this thing here, because I didn't get this. I didn't order that part. I just ordered this top part. Now, could I have ordered the part for this too? Yeah. But usually, when I was talking to them at the store, they said the top cartridge goes out. There's some other rubber gaskets in here. And, you know, how far do you go with replacing all the parts? You know what I mean? We're going to try this. See how it lines up here. Okay? I'm going to pull this off and look at that a little bit closer.